Hey guys, I wanted to hop on here and share what is going on with this I am or we are, and then insert name. One of the things that the Lord was showing me is, and he was showing me probably a couple weeks ago, that there has been an increase, like never before, an increase to push in a main stage platformed Antichrist. That is their goal. And there were things that triggered them having to move forward, and I will use warp speed because I think that's so connected, that they had to move forward at a speed that they've never done before, nor did they expect. I think they kind of had it expected a little bit, some of their storyboards, because you got to understand they are constantly they have so many script writers. When I say they, I'm saying those that are in rebellion to the living God. They have so many different script writers and so many different ways that they're going to go. If this happens, then this happens, and then this is what so and so is going to do, and this is what we're going to do here. This is what, and they're all, in fact, they're all impacting ministries and churches, because that is how the world and the matrix moves. And you can read about that in my book, Kingdom Authority, The Matrix of the Fragmented Church, if you want to know more about that. But the church, the state of the church, the institution of the church moves what is going on. They're I guess they're controlling the flow of what is going on in this earth. So much to say about that with the flow and energy and all that. But what the Lord was showing me just not too long ago is that they are on a fast track. They are going to go as fast as they possibly can to usher in a world stage, quote unquote, Antichrist. Now that's a whole thing in itself. But here's the thing. The soul has the most power and the most energy. When it's fragmented, it doesn't have as much energy and power, but whoever collects all those fragments control everything with that power. The soul holds the mind, will, and emotion. So if somebody was to program a soul a particular way and then fragment it and then shatter that soul with that programming, and then they disperse it into the atmosphere, into the spirit realm, into the energetic realm, just waiting for it to be called, well, then when you call it and when you bring that part of yours, that fragmented, shattered piece of the soul that has been programmed, when you call on that and it comes and it becomes a part of you, then now that programming is part of your programming. Now, you might not notice it right away. Traditional ministers might call it familiar spirits. They would say, well, you're going to start to hear from familiar spirits. No, technically, if you actually look into the Hebrew, that's a whole nother thing. Familiar spirits are actually disembodied souls. So what's happening is that energy, which is a subatomic particle, electrons, protons, gluons, all of that, that energy gets embedded into the people that call on the name we are, whatever, insert name, I am, insert name. So that gets engrafted. Think of it as like a DNA and now, or blood, right? If blood comes together, the whole scare with HIV and all that, like if their blood comes in contact with your blood, now your blood has that. That's the same thing with mind control and the soul. So when the soul trauma bonding, when that comes together, now you have their programming and an open gateway, because your soul is a gateway. And I was going to say I'm doing teachings on that. I am releasing some things, so you can look for yourself. The Hebrew word for delet is door, and then you've got hey, which is a pathway, or behold, right? So anyways, moving on to the I am situation and the we are situation. We were created obviously in God's image. Genesis 1:26 and Genesis 1:27. God created us male and female, not transgender, not bigender, none of that. He created us male and female together from before the foundation of the world. Adam was actually the prototype. So Adam was both male and female in Genesis. In Genesis 1:26 and 27, that's how God created him. So we are in God's image. We are in his full image. And within us, we have, whether you're male and whether you're female, we all have fire. We all have, when you look at the Hebrew letter, the Hebrew word for male, or the female, which is ish for male, the Hebrew word for ish, you've got Aleph and Shin, which is fire. You've got, for females, you have Aleph and Shin, which is fire. So we all have fire no matter what. Now here's the distinction: is the man has a yod in the letters of Hebrew, male, and for ish, and the woman, the female isha, she has a hey. So together those are yah. When God spoke to Moses in Exodus 3, you can go look it up. I highly suggest anytime somebody speaks scripture to you, don't just take their word for it, look it up. And then you might actually find deeper revelation. So when he was speaking to Moses, he said, I am that I am. And then he said, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. But he was saying, I am. And when you look at those Hebrew words, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The Hebrew letters for I am, which, by the way, it's not like two words. It was one word for I am when you look at the Hebrew. So you start with the first one, because you read from left to right. You start with the first one, and it's Aleph, which means oneness with God, our creator. And then it moves to Hey, which is, hey, behold. Sorry, I'm raising my hands. Like, hey, behold. Like, look here. Look what I have. Also meaning revelation. It also means the breath of God. So much to that. So much to Hey, which is also, like I said, it is in the female for ish. It's in the female word for ish. Hey is. And then we have Yod. And now Yod represents the divine hand of God, the spark. Oh my gosh, like, it's so beautiful. Literally in God's name, you have Hey and Yod right next to each other. And that Hey and Yod together is Yah. But I'm not talking about that right now. So I'm talking about, he says, I am that I am. So we have Yod, which is that divine hand of God, the spark, the beginning of creation. And then to follow it, the last letter in that is Hey. We have another Hey, which is breath and revelation. And at the end of that, that's just, I am that I am. God is saying, I am, right? And it's like, you have all of those letters, the oneness. You've got the Hey, the revelation, and then you have the Yod, and then you have the Hey. It's just so beautiful. So God is saying, I am that I am. So, and then later, Jesus says the same thing. And this is what we have to understand, right? When we are connected to the divine nature of God, not just the nature. I'm talking about the real God, the living God, not the God of this world. When we are connected to the God who sent his son, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, we ourselves carry that divine name in us, because that was imprinted on us from the foundation, before the foundations of the earth, before the foundations of the world. So when we say I am, and then you put another name out there, what you're doing is you are aligning with an identity that is not yours. It's not yours to call out. It's not yours. We are God inside us. God is inside all of us. The living God, the God of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Enough of this God of Abraham, Isaac. No, I am creation. Creation is sitting inside of me. Like creation, when I say I am saying I am a part of all of creation. We all are. When we align with that, when we believe that, we are all part of creation. And soon the revelation of the sons of God is about to come forth. I've been calling it the manifestation of the sons of God, but actually it's the revelation, because that's what it is in Hebrew. That's what it is in Greek. It's not just the manifestation. It is the revelation. It is in the mem. When you look at mem, and I'll be doing a teaching on this soon, mem is not waters, by the way. It's energy. So when you look at the M, the closed mem means hidden revelation. So in Ha-Adam, he had a closed M, which is hidden revelation. I think I have that right. And then it opens up after Eve is taken from his side. I mean, it's just so beautiful, you guys. So beautiful. Anyways, so I just wanted to share on that with the I am and the we are thing. Whatever you do, don't say it. If your pastor starts invoking that and starts pushing that, I would literally stop all communication, because he has aligned with something else. And I will share real quick on that what I believe that they're doing, because they are high speed warp speeding this platform to Antichrist. Is they want to be able to control the masses of mind control of the masses. And this is the one way, and it says this in the book of Revelation, you guys. It says it all over scripture. Okay, it's our mind our mind should belong to God, the living God, the God of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Do I need to say that? I think you guys all understand. That's who my God is. So what I'm saying is, if they invoke this, if anybody does this, I personally, what I would say is I would cut communication with them, because you don't want their soul tied to your soul, because now they become a doorway to whatever spirit that is. I would cut ties with them, and I would pray for them to wake up and see that. I would also highly recommend our Soul Ties prayer at Advocates of Heaven. It's an advanced prayer. You can go through it, and you can even do it on behalf of them and cut their ties between whatever it was that they called and invoked. What's something else? And I do plan on releasing and I'll be putting on YouTube, I do planning on releasing a prayer that you can do when you go through areas that will just rescue all those soul fragments, rescue and cleanse that area, which is basically energy, is what we're coming up against, which is when I'm going to get into some deep stuff here, and I'm trying to make this quick. Genesis 1:1, when God hovered, when he went over the waters. Look that word up. It's not waters, y'all. It is not waters. It's energy. It's chaos. It wasn't waters. The waves do not represent. Anyways, that's another thing, because if you look up the word waters in scripture, even the water, the earth being watered, it's not the same Hebrew word. So that translation has taken everybody off course. And I'll be doing a teaching on that very soon. But I love you all. God bless. And remember, you are part of creation. You are the God spark. God is in you. And you should not be calling on I am anybody, only God. And you can say, I am that I am, right? Because when you are aligned with the God of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the living God is within you. Now, if you don't feel comfortable saying that, I completely understand. We need a lot of soul deliverance before we're able to really walk in that, because you don't want to say I am, and then you cuss somebody out. So I love you all. God bless.